everyone, and welcome to San Antonio by Night, where we tell a vampire story in the Alamo City. Last we left off, our coterie called the Host gathered together their newest members, Amber and Benji, and were running some errands for themselves around town. And the they Benji has decided that he wants to get in or stop or halt some of the drug following that's going on in Baron Delgado's domain. And with the help of Carlos, the newly embraced Tremere, they ran into a man known as Emmanuel, whom Benji confronted about uh, getting in on some things, but things went a little bit strange as the bunch ran into a face that they had never seen before and then had disappeared. Benji, Em, and Amber at that point altogether decided that Amber would take Emmanuel and put him in the vehicle, and Em and Benji ran after the assailant. But Urian stayed behind to prepare in case things went south, seeing as they had the daughter of Carlos Vives in their possession now. And should things go terribly wrong for Carlos, they may have to do something drastic to little Julie. And so, we begin our tale on a new night. The coterie in their different havens gathering together eventually tonight. And so, Benji, you had a conversation with Urian before going into day sleep. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that and how that went?
Well, I had a sit down with Urian last night. We had a conversation about ourselves, what we wanted, who we were. I'm trying not to judge. Everyone has a past they're trying to move forward from. Even me. Especially me. I'd like nothing more than to show more than that. I think Carlos feels the same. I understand what it's like. He doesn't have a lot of faith in what he is or what he can do, but maybe all he needs is someone to do so for him. It won't be me who gets that from him. I've fucked everything up for him as it is, but I'm wondering if I can someone he'll accept. Regardless. Fuck. This so bitch is really not good news. And said she might have a lead, so I'll follow her up on that. If it actually goes anywhere, I'll owe her one. And then there's Emmanuel. When I'm done with him, I might make a pretty good deserved treat when I'm done.
Certainly an interesting thought. Urian, you had conversation with two people this night.
Well, before the night ended, anyway.
Mm.
I suppose I allowed Benji to understand something. Benji has always thought of the Anarchs as something that was always against the Camarilla. And yet, perhaps he did not realize that there are some members amongst the Anarchs who once were. I posed this idea in his mind and gave him food for thought, though it seemed to put him at unease, if I am to be polite. The truth of the matter is that I envy that conviction, but there is something in him that is instinctual. It is less of a choice, if I were to describe it. It's not a choice to rebel against the Camarilla. It is something deeper. Something to be destroyed. At this point, I have to be weary of him. It is no fault of his, but it makes me wonder. Then there is Amber, who has vexed me greatly. Amber does not know the meaning of the term sacrifice. Talking on why should we care about those long gone? Perhaps forgetting that many of us are long-lived. Many of us had friends we fought beside. Many of us who have friends who have died final death. Many who are still with us in heart or spirit or mind or simply nightmares where we have to wake screaming, thinking of them. And he spat on them, or she spat on their memories. I find myself perturbed with Amber. And there is a small part of me that thinks about the situation. Amber came to me showing ambition. But while I'd rather not make an enemy, it has come to mind that perhaps this one I should be more leery of. They are a disrespectful lick who has no respect for what they have become a part of.
Certainly some interesting conversations going on. But you're not the only person who's been kind of lurking around. There's also the wonderful M, the one who just returned to Urian's side after a little bit of a vacation, I suppose.
Sometimes one needs to adventure a bit to find oneself. I'm really happy to be back, and I love meeting new faces, making more friends. I am leery, though. There was a Nosferatu that was uninvited to Benji's party, and it leads me to believe that there's information that I don't want spread very much. But yeah, it's good to have friends.
Always good to have friends. It's very rare that a kindred can call a person friend. And when one does, and that information is known, could potentially be used against a person.
And maybe that's what I want, maybe that's what I don't want. Not quite sure yet.
We shall see. But you... There's Amber. The newest lady to this little coterie. You seem to have angered Urian quite a bit. What's going on in that pretty little head of yours? Lethality?
There we go.
There we go.
No, it's just Discord checking the fifth there for a sec. Amber, 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 do fucking pre. You had one job. One! Only one! Don't piss off Mr. Doyle. And what do you go and do? What do you go and do? Right. Breaks my heart, truly. But there's only two things I can do about this. The first is to hope Mr. Doyle can find it in his dead heart to forgive an idiot. But that won't be happening without me finding some answers about myself. And the other is to not let the inevitable happen. I refuse to go back to him. I refuse. I'm not. I've got a lot of things that I need to work through.
And so, the night begins anew. Where do we find each of you?
I would most likely need to be at the coterie house because I imagine after my little talk with Urian, there probably wouldn't have been enough time to retreat back to my own haven.
And you left poor
If
little...
there was,
And you
if
left...
there was, then that's where my haven is where I would be. But otherwise, I'd be at the coterie house.
It was getting kind of late, so depends on if you think you could speed their way through. But little Julie is at your own haven, in the tender care of someone you know. I would like everyone to make rouse checks. It seems like everyone except for Benji is having that little bit of hunger start to creep up in that deep pit of your stomach once more. So, is everyone at the coterie house at this point? Everyone gathered together
I dare not speak for the others, but I am at the Coterie House, as it has now been dubbed. And I am currently in the basement. Currently, the lights are off, much like that conversation I had with Benji. It's two red eyes staring at Carlos, who has been made comfortable, but I am trying to exercise restraint. Though there is a part of me that is also tempted by this child. So much so I tend to forget to not call him my own, to claim him and everything that's in him.
It's certainly your blood that made him. But whether or not you claim him as your child, as your proper son, perhaps, that's something you'll have to decide at another point, because Benji has made it apparently clear that he wants him. Why not take it for yourself? He's useless. He'd be better filling our belly.
I am giving it a great deal of consideration right now, but he is hardly an appetizer. Make him plump and fat, gorged like a tick. And then we will have our moment. Right now I need a moment of quiet. I need feed. I can already feel you on the back of my mind, wanting, scraping, bending the bars. But I can assure you I won't be denying you much longer. I won't be denying myself much longer.
Sounds delightful. When? Can we do it now? Maybe M or Amber. Both of them would be tasty, wouldn't they?
Not them. Amber will... I'm waiting in the wings. She is grown to be higher on the preference. I suppose if she tastes like she looks, then we'd be in for a treat, but I suspect her blood is as rotted fruit.
Only one way to find out. And when you look over to Carlos once again, you do notice that he is stirring and he is pulling against the chains and the restraints and everything. Looking over at you, looking around the room in a desperate kind of motion to try and see in the dark.
I keep behind him. He does not need to know that I am looking at him the way I do. Not that he could see anything but the eyes. I'm waiting. The others take him. Listen, opportunity will come. Just need to be patient.
I'm growing more and more impatient.
And that is what got us in the first place.
Benji, are you here at the sanctuary house yet? And M?
I believe, for Benji, within Urian's permission, he stayed the night again. He has fresh blood to take care of tonight. For better or worse. Emmanuel, I'm wondering, it's presumed he was also locked up within the sanctuary. At least for the time being. Where could it be presumed he was locked up? Definitely not with Carlos. That would be problematic, but
You really only have the basement, the loft, and the bedrooms, as well as the kitchen. So it's up to you where you put him.
oof. I'm gonna say the loft. He's carefully tied up. Wrapped, bound. Not like the guy can get out of chains very easily. Being said, Benji has some work to do.
That he does.
I believe M would probably remained at home even though she really, really wanted to go check on the little girl. Something doesn't settle right. But if it was cutting it too close, she would have stayed.
Alright. Benji's gonna make his way out into the living room. Is anyone else out there?
Depending on if I would have been allowed to stay, I may have been out there.
I very much doubt Urian would throw you out, risk you to the sun.
M would be downstairs as well.
Yep, I would, instead of taking a room, I would have crashed on the couch because not not risking it by pushing the button a little bit more than I already have. Not that I meant to push it in the first place, but no. If Benji is in the living room, Amber would be there as well. And upon feeling that wake up a little bit more of a pang in her stomach, she just mumbles to herself, and the good news just keeps coming.
Cool. Benji arriving from his bedroom. Noticed his Amber kind of curled up on the couch. He seems concerned, more confused. No room? That's weird. Don't Toreadors normally kick up a fuss when they don't have special establishment? Oh well. Benji, that's all Benji thinking to himself. He approaches Amber somewhat slowly, still keeping a fair distance. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Cortez.
I'm surprised you stayed here for the night. Or rather, in the living room.
I have my reason. You can tell that the facade of confidence that Benji has seen her carry herself with the last night it's pretty much vanished. The Amber you see before you is quite a different beast to the Amber that you've seen.
Is something wrong? You doing alright? Getting some rumblies in your tumbies?
A little, but really that's less. It's not really the major concern right now. I had a conversation last night with Mr. Doyle, and in my foolishness, I said something that enraged him quite greatly. In fact, given that it's kind of a miracle that I was allowed to stay here tonight at all and that he didn't throw me out to the sun, he would have had every right to.
Oof. Yeah. God. He can. I've never necessarily seen him mad. I've seen him agitated, but not mad.
Yeah. I had one fucking job, Benji. One job, and I failed at even that.
Oh. Well, I wouldn't say one job.
Well, yeah, we've still got the matter of, what is he upstairs?
I believe his name's Emmanuel.
Yeah. I did promise you that he promised me that he would give up the locations, and I promised you that I would get them for you, so if you would like, we can resolve that little.
Alright. That would be amazing. I appreciate it, Amber.
I said that I was here to help, and I don't. I've already screwed up once. I'm not intending on going back. I'm not intending on screwing up a second time. And with that, she stands and she's like, the loft, yeah.
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 I'm gonna really quickly check on Carlos. So, Benji makes his way over to the basement. Does a two little.
You'll hear no response. Maybe some thrashing from Carlos.
Benji opens up the door to the basement. Toodaloo. Anyone home?
You'll eventually see in the dark if you appear just enough, maybe a faint bit of red eyes. Familiar sight, but this is a little bit more, shall we say, annoyed.
Benji, you also notice that Carlos is starting to pull against the restraints when he sees you. He says, "Look, man, I'm starting to feel like I'm gonna lose control or something. What the fuck is this?"
Oh. Benji makes his way downstairs, somewhat sprightly. You're about to hunger frenzy. About to go mad.
What the fuck?
Benji gets within like about a foot just out of Carlos's reach. And kneels down to his eye level.
He just looks you
So,
up and down.
the way this works is that when we get hungry, we get more crazy. It's a thing inside us. A monster. A beast. It wants blood. You want blood, don't you?
I mean, I don't mean this to be offensive in any way, but you look like a very tasty snack.
And that's how you've been looking to me for the past few moments, Carlos.
Yeah,
Well.
yeah. Can I get out of here? Can I eat something? Can I do something about
You
this?
mean someone? Can you eat someone?
guess. I don't know. I don't know anything about this shit. What the fuck you guys are?
Kindred. The word is kindred.
The
And it's
fuck
not
does
just-
that even mean?
You fucking listen, bro? I told you this 2 nights ago.
Yeah, but does that mean something special? Cause like,
It means Bram Stoker wasn't full of shit.
Bram Stoker. Whatever. It just
Oh god, he's dumb.
needs.
Alright.
Come on, man. There's got to be something, please.
Well, I said when I'm done with Emmanuel, you'll have your meal.
Okay. He just looks
Urian.
very confused.
Yes, Benji.
I have an idea. We met something earlier. When we were getting Emmanuel, there was Nosferatu. Yeah. Not good news, but Em said she might have a lead. I'm gonna check up on her on that. If we can get a hold of that guy, we can make him yours.
You would be careful to consider that, Benji, but I appreciate the thought. As it stands right now, you said your business was with Emmanuel.
That's correct.
I will... Well, you tell me what needs to be done, and I will follow your lead. As I said, I am here to assist.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Benji, given what we discussed earlier, I think you should be aware that I am quite famished.
Benji looks like a pretty tasty snack, if I do say so myself.
Yes, I have to admit, Benji, even I have eyes for you in some way. There's just these two red eyes talking to you in the dark.
Benji just has a nervous chuckle. He's like, all right, Captain. All right. uh, worst case scenario, I feed Carlos, you feed on him.
What the fuck? What do you. What?
Shut up.
Didn't I tell you, Carlos? What did I say I was? Did you think I was lying? There are fangs inches away from just out the corner of his eye.
Shit! Fuck! Get the fuck away from me.
Urian kind of indulgently licks the side of his face. Self-sampling. Alas, he does not sweat. No more salt on the skin.
Uh,
already killed you once, Carlos. Don't think I am not above doing it again.
Right.
I will be upstairs. Do with him what you will, Benji. Just remember to give him some warning before you turn the lights on. He starts to go towards the stairs.
You see that Carlos is still struggling against the restraints and kind of wishes he had taken the opportunity to go to really lash out at your neck as close as it was. But he's still restrained, tied up.
Carlos,
Uh-huh. What do you want?
what's it gonna take for you to really understand the situation?
I mean, I don't even know. Yeah. It would help if I could just get this voice out of my fucking head.
Well,
I can barely process what it is that you're saying to me right now.
I've been there.
So fucking hungry.
Yeah. It's miserable, ain't it? I'm gonna go take care of Emmanuel, and then I'll be back. And you get to sit tight in the meantime.
Come on, please. Let me out.
Be good. Benji goes back upstairs to meet with the rest of the coterie, turns off the lights, closes the door, and makes sure it's locked.
And all you hear behind you is struggling, groaning, the pulling of a man trying to get out of his restraints as you leave into the other room.
That's pretty miserable. Benji turns over, looks at everyone in the room. So, what's everyone doing tonight?
Em just kind of twiddles her thumbs in the corner of a room and just kind of shrugs at Benji's question.
Uh-huh.
Aside helping you with what I said I was going to, Benji, I think it would be best if I got to know you a little better. You and Em both, and she gestures to Em as she says that.
Em smiles. That would be rather fun, I think.
Benji's just thinking to himself, remember what Isabella told you? Kindred women are fucking crazy. He, turns towards the loft. He gestures to Amber. Cool. Let's get this party started.
Let's. And she's gonna head up towards the loft.
Cool. Once
Em
Benji's... Oh, sorry.
Say no, you're good. I just follow.
Once Benji's up on the loft, really quickly just pulls out his phone, messages Isabella, asks her when she's free tonight. Puts away his phone. Manuel tied up. He's got duct tape on his mouth, chains around him. He's got blindfolded with Benji's favorite handkerchief, bandana bit. Messy. Messy, messy.
And he hears you all come up the stairs And he starts to look around as if he can look past the blindfold, trying to anyway, and just kind of listens in your direction a little bit, wondering where, looking confused and like he finally might be able to see someone, say something.
Hmm. Benji, if you don't mind, I would like to handle this. As I said, he made a promise to me, and I will make sure that he does not renege.
As you wish, ma'am. Benji sets Emmanuel up, facing towards the wall.
And you hear a muffled vocalization coming from under the duct tape.
And
What's-
this is when Amber, like after he's set up, Amber's gonna lean him and is like, "Why, hello there, Emmanuel. I'm sorry that we had to postpone our little chat. There was some things that needed to be dealt with. I hope that that's all right. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to turn you around 180 degrees. I'm going to take off your blindfold. I'm going to take off your gag. And you're going to tell me what you promised that you would. And once you do that, you'll be free to go. I'll let you out of the chains. Does that sound good, Emmanuel? Nod for yes.
And he gives a nod.
All right then.
You can see
No
a little bit of
screaming.
sweat on him though.
Now, no screaming. If you scream, I'm going to have to hurt you. She goes to turn him around, but before she does, she stops and she's like, "One other question.
Kind of cocks his head inquisitively, like as in a why or what.
You don't sample your own product, do you?"
He gives his head a shake.
Good. I'm gonna take a sip from him. Just a sip.
Alright.
And as I do that, I'd also like to be using that is the wrong inventory. And I want to use lingering kiss on him when I feed on him.
Alright. Are you just taking a taste, or are you taking enough to satisfy some hunger? What are you doing?
Enough to satisfy one hunger.
Okay.
Just one.
Noted. And continue.
There we go. That's how you get rid of it. So she, after doing that, she's like, after she does that, she'll lick the wound closed and whisper in his ear, "Is like, that's a little treat for you. You've been such a helpful individual." And she turns him around, as she said she would, turns him around 180 degrees, takes off the blindfold, and takes off the duct tape for the gag.
Mm-hmm.
And she leans in and goes, "Now, I believe you had some addresses to tell me."
Right. Wow. That was interesting. Okay. Right. And he definitely starts to spat off some information to you, giving you one particular address deep in Jameson's territory.
I imagine whilst he's speaking, she looks back to Benji with a look that says, "You getting all this?"
He's nodding. He's paying attention.
Yep. Um.
You're gonna want to watch out though. Um, cause there's some really shady guys at the top.
Oh, I imagine some shady guys. They've probably got something like guns and the like. You know, gotta protect the product and all that, right?
Right.
I understand. It's okay. Now,
You don't seem all that worried about it though. Uh. Okay.
I keep a good face. If I am worrying, why would I tell you?
That's a good point.
And she smiles sweetly to him, and
You're gonna. So I can go, right? Yeah.
just a moment, and then yes, you may. I will let you out of the chains. And she turns to Benji. She turns to Benji with a look that screams. Screams as like, I have no. She basically saying this non-verbally. I have no intention of letting this guy leave here alive. You've got something you can do about that, don't you, Benji?
Benji, pretty content with how everything went down. Smiles, nods. Cool. Yeah. All right, Emmanuel. We're gonna make the most of this situation.
Yep.
I'm gonna escort you out.
Big B, right? That's
Damn
what they
straight.
called you.
Yep. Don't forget it.
Cool. Cool.
You have to understand until we get you to your apartment, what have you. I'm gonna need you to stay in chains.
But I
You're gonna get let go. Don't worry about that. It's
Yep.
just a matter. It's just a matter of safety. Why would we want to let you know where we are? You'll get let go, as I promised.
look. The only reason I agreed to the chains, lady, is because, you know, you're pretty.
Let me guess, you're a little bit of a kink. And she kind of smirks widely at him with this absolute shit-eating grin.
It's uh, mm,
Oh come now, you can admit it to me. There's no problem. And the grin just gets wider.
just gonna like drive a couple blocks out and let me go, right?
Yeah. Got something in the basement for you though. Just a reward for your time. Really appreciate it. Benji picks him up by the chains and starts dragging him down.
Wait. You didn't say anything about a basement. You didn't say anything about a basement. Come on.
I didn't know anything about a basement.
And
Come on.
he's gonna try and resist. He's gonna try and wiggle out of your grasp. He's not gonna have a very good time of it though.
Well, do I have to actually roll?
Yeah, you have to roll me
Okay.
a strength athletics to hang on to him.
Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Modifiers.
Unless you have grapple.
The compulsion.
Ah, -2. Because this is not directly related to your feeding. Oh. Yep, nope, your grip is iron solid on those jades. And he kind of wiggles off of your shoulder a little bit, but you instantly just lift him and keep him on his feet, dangling a little bit off of the ground, just the tiniest bit, and it kind of yanks his arms behind his back in a kind of maneuver that would keep him locked in place, and He kind of gives that a little bit of a yelp, and it's like, come on, please. Look, you said nothing about a basement. I didn't agree to this. Come on, just.
Amber just smiles sweetly at him and is like, she's just like, I didn't know anything about any basement.
Benji continues, pulls him downstairs, opens up the door.
And you can hear this from your room.
I can hear this from my room.
Yes,
Mm.
because Emmanuel is starting to get a little bit loud.
Oh. I thought interesting. I'll definitely, go investigate that.
And when you get out the door, you see Benji walking down the stairs from the loft with a man in chains and ropes, wiggling to try and get away from him. Uh, this is a man you haven't. This is Emmanuel. You know him from the last night, but it looks like he's desperately trying to get away.
Well, it doesn't seem like any of my business, but I think it's pretty funny. He's struggling, and Benji's pretty strong, huh? Well, I'm hungry too. She thinks to herself and taps her fingers on her lips and speaks to Benji. I know I might not be much help, but I can offer some assistance.
Benji stops. He turns to look at him. Oh, yeah? How you suppose?
Well, what are you doing? It seems loud.
Come on, help me, please, please. She's gonna take me down to the basement, and I didn't agree to that, and I didn't agree to come here in this particular predicament anyway. But like, I didn't want to, but
Benji.
you made a very, very, very enticing case, and I really don't want to be here anymore. Can I go?
I appreciate that we're very convincing, but honestly, you're not my problem. Unless I help Benji, but, no. Benji. And she kind of walks over, well, she, kind of gets close to him so she, like, can whisper to him. Is he gonna get omnommed?
Well, whispering back to M. It's not exactly we can let him go now that he knows where we're at.
She just gets a big smile and slaps Benji on the back. That is a great idea, Benji. Wow. Wow.
What?
Honestly, the basement, it's a riot. You'll have fun.
The. He's gonna try and get away again.
This punk ass.
Yeah, if Benji needs help, M will totally help with that.
Boink. Boink.
Nah, your grip is too much. He can't wiggle away, and he's starting to freak out a bit.
Oh my hell. Alright. Benji basically kicks this guy down the stairs, kicking at his ankles every time he's not moving fast enough. Hey, Carlos. I have something for you.
Benji, when you come down the stairs, it's as if the animal has taken Carlos. He is pulling against the chains, he is pulling against the ropes, he is wildly thrashing as much as he can to try and get out, knowing that he needs something. He needs anything.
Benji, knowing that exact look, just smirks. It's unfortunate.
What?
Takes out his pocket knife and he cuts on his own hand really quick and just smears it on Emmanuel's neck. What blood does come out.
The fuck?
He closes it up again on his hand. Good night, Emmanuel. It's been great. Really.
What? What? What?
And then he pushes Emmanuel at Carlos.
And Carlos is going to start feeding as much as he can reach, and Emmanuel is screaming. And eventually, over the course of a moment.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
There's one thing. After a couple moments of this nonsense, Benji will pull Emmanuel off.
How long is a couple moments? You know how long it takes to feed.
I'm gonna say about 2 dots worth.
From Emmanuel.
Mm-hmm.
So you let Carlos feed, and he drinks. He drinks deep, and he drinks heavily. And Emmanuel was limp for a moment in Carlos's bite, but as soon as you try to pull him away, Carlos regains his composure a little bit, and then Emmanuel starts to convulse.
Benji. Ah, shit. I already closed it up. Ah, well. Cuts open his hand again and then drips blood into Emmanuel's mouth. I feel messy.
All right. So how much do you give him? A taste?
I give him a dot. So I have one to spare, I guess. That being said, Benji is doing this under the pretenses that he knows it helps other kindred. He doesn't know how it works with humans.
And Emmanuel does convulse for a little bit longer. But eventually does stabilize. His breathing is still kind of shallow.
Oh. Did I kill him? Can I roll a medicine check to see if I've killed this man?
Roll me a wits medicine.
It's not very high, but YOLO. Wait a second, I have a -2 anyways.
Well, since Emma's trying to help Benji, would it be possible that she followed him into this situation?
Yeah. What are you doing?
I just kind of want to try to piece together, one, if there's going to be any leftovers. 2, is if Benji is doing that, like, would she have any knowledge in, like, what that would do to a human?
Roll me an intelligence plus occult.
Okay. Oop.
You may have heard a little bit of something. The word blood bond comes up. What exactly that means for a human, you're not entirely sure. You know, it's something that people do sometimes, but
Mm. She'll mutter that on her breath. Blood bond. And just kind of shrug it off and keep watching.
Okay, I'm gonna roll medicine now.
okay.
I have 3 wits. We'll see if this works.
At -2. This does not relate to you actually feeding.
Is that a
Nope.
bad crit?
No, a crit is only when you have a pair of 10s.
Okay.
So, looking at him, his breathing's shallow. He's not shaking much anymore. Like, he's shaking a little bit, but not like convulsing anymore. He's just shaking. You get the whatever was happening, it didn't seem good. That's about all you know.
Well,
Carlos is in shock. He's just shut down. His face he's just staring at Emmanuel. He's just unmoving. A little bit of crimson still dripping from the corner of his mouth. The fuck? The fuck?
you feeling better, buddy?
The fuck? Oh god. The fuck?
Calm down. This is what you are now. This is what we are.
No. Um and he kind of sounds like he's about to hyperventilate, but you know for a fact that Kindred don't need to breathe. He just seems
shakes.
to be inhaling and exhaling fast, whether it does something or not.
He's just shaking his head at Carlos. He gives the Emmanuel a couple on his face, light taps.
He doesn't stir.
Oh, God. Huh. Well, this could be bad. I'm gonna be honest, Em. He looks up to her. I can't kill people. That's...
I can see.
yeah. And now I've made a mess. So... huh. Maybe... okay. He holds his hands together. Question for Amber.
Yes.
Did he actually give his apartment address to Amber?
You would know that it's a location deep in Jameson's territory. Whether or not it's his apartment, whether it's a safe house, whether it's something different, you'd have to look it up on maps in order to be able to find out exactly where it is.
Okay, so if we have the address, Benji's gonna do that really quick. Just looks up on the Googs.
And when you look it up, you do see that it is on the south end of town, near South Park Mall. It's an apartment complex, and seems to be a bottom floor unit from what you can tell.
Bottom floor.
But it's deep in Jameson's territory.
God. This just keeps getting more and more complicated. Alright. So, I think I'm gonna have to run a covert. And I'm thinking it's just gonna have to be only 1 or 2 people with. Small group. But it's better if this guy wakes up in his apartment. Just maybe.
The Emmanuel guy?
I'm not entirely sure. Yes.
Yes? Oh, huh. I feel wary about this, but if you need my help, I'll
Actually,
be here.
I have a better question. Em?
Hmm.
You said you had a lead on that Nosferatu, right?
In a way. I can work on it if you like.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, let's switch gears maybe. Fuck.
I will go ahead and take care of that privately for now. I don't think my information sources would like to be known too much. But I'll still aid you.
Thanks.
And Em will take her leave and get started on that.
Benji just shrugs. He goes to find Urian.
That's actually where Emma's going as well. She's like, why are you following me, dude?
Team Dad, we need help. Because I did a dump.
Urian would be upstairs in the loft with the, well, reading more than anything. He's pretty sure you all have a handle on it, or maybe he just can't be around the rest right now. M would know this particular point. It is very clear that Urian needs to feed. He's simply trying to end up keeping up appearances.
Hmm. Maybe I should try to find a way to. Maybe I could try to go get in contact with Alfonso.
Sorry, was somebody going upstairs?
Sure. Benji makes his way to Urian.
Good evening, Benji. I trust everything was going according to your plan.
Yes and no.
And you are here to seek my guidance on the no portion of this, correct?
Yes.
What is the problem?
Short gist of it is, I'm a fighter, yeah, but I don't really have the balls to kill someone. It's not that I'm asking you to, or anyone else. But
You were
I also-
asking, what is the endeavor? Why are you discussing killing if it is not necessary?
Well, brought a manual here, and
A foolish endeavor, but it is done.
I didn't let him die, and
Why not?
because I can't. I can't. So now I'm honestly wondering what I'm supposed to do with the guy. I gave him some of my blood, and he's not dead because of that.
Why would you give such a gift so openly? Of what use was he to you from that point?
Well, at this point, he was a contact. He was a means to an end, but
Very well. I can arrange something. Medical treatment, if required. His silence, on the other hand, is a little bit trickier.
yeah. I needed to go to his apartment. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna see if I can find something like before, like what we pulled with Carlos.
And how well did that turn out?
Yeah, that turned out to be messy as well.
We are creatures of secrecy, Benji. And in being so, it is nice to be able to pull the gangster routine. But I did not do so without a plan towards the next step. If you find something of a manual, let what? Better to kill him now and hide the body. Police do not look too far for missing persons.
It's true.
You are still hoping I will come up with another solution.
I mean, I'm hoping I do.
Are you... What has happened to the little one, the nugget?
Oh, fuck. Forgot about her.
You forgot. A child whose home you have desecrated. You brought her over specifically to her father in order to torment him into giving up information and to be compliant. And you forgot.
I mean, I believe Amber and Em have her in another position. Just being taken care of.
Alright then, Benji, I will clean up your mess. I'm sorry. I am cross this evening. I am distracted and impatient. My deepest apologies. He closes the book and puts it in his back, or puts it in his side bag, proceeds to stand and starts to walk downstairs. Now, Benji, if this works, you still need to finish up with the child. Do we understand each other?
Yeah.
And he walks downstairs, wondering where's Am. Maybe Amber's still downstairs. What to do with this, Emmanuel?
Amber is still downstairs. When Urian down from the loft, he will receive a respectful bow from Amber, but she doesn't say anything. It's pretty obvious that he'd be able to just take one look at her and know that she knows that she fucked up, and she's just trying to be as respectful as she possibly can, despite that.
There's a moment of hesitation when Urian stops seeing Ember's gesture. There might even be the faintest glimmer of a smile, a bit of nostalgia. Then he motions his hand for her to stand, then looks towards the bloodied mouth Carlos and Emmanuel. What is Emmanuel's condition right now?
Emmanuel is on the ground, not moving, shaking a little bit.
I will investigate to see what I can come up with. I am think back to all the times I've seen this, and I'm pretty sure this is not the first time I've seen it.
No, not by a long shot. You know what this is. This is someone who's been drank from too hard. Too much is gone.
Do I have enough time to get him to docks?
Make me an intelligence streetwise.
Three successes.
You think you can if you break the speed limit.
Just to get more attention.
Maybe not throttling too high above the speed limit. Be cutting it close.
Benji, you have exactly 3 seconds to end up making this decision. Is his life worth sparing? Or he is going to die on this floor?
If he lives, he can be of use. Amber gave him a kiss on the neck. And
Get him to the van, make sure that give it a quick cope over for trackers. Amber, I believe you still have a guest you're taking care of, yes?
Yes, I do. I can go and retrieve her if you'd like.
I would prefer you to end up doing so, and when you do so, I would have you contact Benji at that moment. Whatever he's doing, tell us when you've acquired. When that happens, I and Benji will end up trying to seeing if we can negotiate something to make sure Carlos here doesn't have to worry about his child. And know that she'll still be breathing and have a chance for happiness. Carlos, you have fed very sloppily, but you have done so. Are you able to sustain yourself for a moment?
Yeah. Oh, shit. Right. I'm good.
Next time, lick the wound.
Well, but yeah. But Benji just kind of just.
Though I have no time for excuses currently, I need to end up saving Emmanuel. Lastly,
Yes.
I want you to end up going over, I want you to end up checking on Amber. Yeah, as Amber ends up dealing with the child there, I need you to end up using your particular gifts and try and end up making everything as fuzzy as possible for the child and anyone you encounter.
Of course, Arian.
Leave as little evidence as possible. Now, Carlos, I will return in a few hours, give you a chance to digest what you have just done and what you have become. Because clearly words do not get it through to you.
Yeah.
break. That is the expression, yes.
Yes, that is the expression. Let's go. Benji, number.
Benji passes over his number to Amber, also picks up Emmanuel's keys, information, whatever is on his body.
That's fantastic. We're bringing Emmanuel over. And with that, I am going to end up asking Amber for her phone. It is a burner, I assume.
Yes, for things such as this, she has a burner.
Dials a number on it.
And the number starts to ring if you intend to make a call.
Yeah, well, as Benji's going over, keep quiet as I go. Come, and the entire crowd's moving. And he's calling Doc.
And you hear that familiar voice of Doc on the other line.
Hey, Doc, I do apologize, but I have found the individual who I think requires your services, and I do not trust, given his condition, well, take him through proper channels, if you read me.
Right. Yeah, get them here quickly. We can talk about it.
Okay, fantastic. He hangs up the phone and tosses it to Amber.
Yep. She catches it with a swift snatch out of the air.
No evidence, everybody. He says as
Understood.
he ends the phone.
It's like, jump at the front. Let's, we're gonna get out of here as soon as possible.
Alright. So the two ladies are headed to Amber's
Haven.
Okay. And the two gentlemen are headed towards Docks.
This is gonna be so. And it's very clear, Benji, when you see Urian, he is uptight, very uptight. He is white knuckling at the wheel, trying to keep some degree of posture. There's very little control in his eyes.
Benji just remains silent. He's not entirely sure how to respond.
Benji, whatever happens, I need you to stay in the van and, keep an eye out. You are not here to be seen by Emmanuel. But I need you to end up here serving as my lookout. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Now, that being said, driving out.
Yep, that will be a dexterity plus drive.
This is gonna be so hard. It's gonna be so hard. I'm so sorry. One success. Yes.
You did get a success. You maneuver through traffic. You kind of weave a little bit too much in some cases because something catches your eye, but you press on. We'll come back to that in a moment. But first, let's take a little bit of a break. Be back in 5-10 minutes, everybody. And we will jump back to M and Ember when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, to San Antonio by Night. And where we left off, our coterie was having a bit of trouble keeping good Emmanuel alive. So they decided to split up a little bit. Urian and Benji were off to get him to dock to see if she could keep him from slipping over the edge to death, while the ladies are taking a leave to Amber's Haven. And they drive. They drive fairly nonchalantly. They're not in any serious rush to get there. Is there any conversation that wants to happen along the way?
Oh yeah. So as they're driving, it's silent for a moment before Amber just just turns to M. One eye on the road, one eye on M. It's just like, well, they fucked that up.
To be honest with you, I didn't expect something like that from him. Bit messy.
Yeah, should have just let Carlos eat him and then clean up the incidental leftovers.
Yeah. Do you know how long Benji's been with this coterie?
I have no idea.
And M kinda frowns, almost hoping he hasn't been there too long. In the sense of not completely being taught by Urian yet. Not holding his lessons and understanding to a standard. And M smiles to Amber. Well, I mean, at least Urian's on it, right?
Yeah, at least Mr. Doyle is on the case. Yeah. The mention of urine kind of makes Amber deflate just a little.
Can I do an insight check and stuff?
Sure. Are you hiding it, Amber?
I'm not hiding the fact that something's gone down. She won't say anything without being pressed, but
I
Then-
kind of want to. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, M, it'd be a wits plus insight, and then Amber, it'd be a composure plus subterfuge.
I am
Nice.
actually good.
So it's wits plus insight?
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
composure plus.
Something's a little weird, M.
Hmm.
You look at her, and she's very, very pretty. She looks like she could have just about anything she wanted in the world, and yet her gaze is a little distant. She's concentrated on the road. But something tells you that something is weird. Not quite right. You get a little bit of a little bit of insightful flash, and you just get the sense that Urian, just Urian.
Gives a look of concern. She kind of lowers her head and looks up curiously at Amber. Did Urian do something weird to you?
Weird. I mean, I suppose you could call it weird, but at the same time, not really. It was. I inadvertently and accidentally upset him. I had said something while we were talking the topic of the Ventru came up, and I have a little bit of disdain for the Ventru. They have all this talk of lineage and everything like that, and I don't see a lot of point. I said that I don't see a lot of point in kissing the ass of a kindred that has long since turned to ash, and he took exception to what I said, and
Hmm.
I can understand why he told me that he has had people that he lost, and I can understand that what I said would very much make it seem like I'm spitting on the memory of those people. It's but how so badly he asked me if I knew what it was like, and I so very badly wanted to tell him no. No, I don't know what it's like.
So you told him that you knew what it was like.
No, no, I didn't say anything.
Oh,
He, I crumpled under the pressure, and
understandable.
I apologized for the disrespect, and I left.
Hmm.
But
Urian is very keen on improving and such, and I understand why he could have been insulted, but I promise you that no matter what, Urian takes care of his students. No matter what.
oh, of course, there's no doubt about that. I do not have any doubts in his ability to teach or his talents or anything like that. It's more a matter of me being worthy to be taught in the first place.
I think you've proven yourself many a time. From what I've seen so far, and I've only been here a day or so. I lose track.
I have seen from Benji and from what Urian has told me that he has taught you two how to gather your own resources to improve the standing and the things that you have.
Hmm.
But and whilst I haven't been able to admit it, I think what I need to be taught, what I think only Urian would be able to teach me, is what it's like to actually belong to something, something bigger than myself, to
Mm.
feel something that's more than just skin deep admiration. As I just said to you, he asked me if I knew what it was like to lose someone, and no, I don't know what it's like because I've never had anyone to begin with.
I'm sorry you've been so alone.
It's it is what it is, and there's no there's nothing particularly that can change that as far as the past is concerned. But I need to be able to better myself, because sure, he told me, what's to stop you from moving to a small country town with a low kindred population and living out the rest of your life in peace. And the point of that is I can't. My the very essence of my being will not allow me to sit quietly. And if I am going to survive in the city, I have my deception. I have the ability to control mortals, to wrap them around my little finger and make them do what I want with a fluttering of my eyelashes and a few sweet words here and there. But That's no way to. There's no way to exist.
Hmm.
It's no way to exist for the for eternity. And
Would be rather
I,
boring.
it would be. But not only that, I have one card in my hand to play. But what happens when that card doesn't work?
Hmm.
And the other things I need to learn from Yuri are how to stock my hand with the other ammunition that I can use.
Absolutely.
Because whilst you'd think that I would have been taught such things by my sire, he wants to keep me as a little songbird in a cage. He's taught me enough to survive, but not enough to go anywhere. It's not a physical cage, it's all psychological. And I hope, that you never have to be subject to something like that. Because I know I know for a fact that if he's expecting me to fail in this endeavor of mine, it's why he let me go. He's expecting me to fail because I don't know enough so that I come crawling back to him on my knees.
We'll just have to prove him wrong, won't we?
That's the hope, and to do that, I'm gonna need Mr. Doyle's help.
Absolutely.
That's about that moment that you pull into the driveway of the Haven. And you go inside. And the... Who did you leave little Julie with, Amber?
It probably, I probably would have a maid to do some very basic cleaning, like one that comes in, cleans, and leaves again.
Mm.
And so I would have made sure that whilst the little child would have been on her own for the most part, the maid would have been coming in and checking on her and making sure that she's okay.
All right. And when you arrive, Julie is sitting there on the couch watching TV. Seems that someone set it up and just let it go.
Um, and that's when Amber is gonna go up and be like, "Hello there, little one."
She kind of looks scared at you.
It's all right. There's no need to be afraid. Everything has calmed down.
Okay. Can I go home yet?
It's like, actually, that's why we're here. We're going to sort a couple of things out, and then yes, you should be able to return home just fine.
Tonight?
Hopefully tonight, yes. If it's not tonight, it will be tomorrow night. But very soon, I promise.
She just kind of nods and follows you.
That's when, it's like, I'm going to introduce you to a little friend of mine. And she's going to take care of you for a moment whilst I make a couple of calls, okay?
Okay. And so you walk her out of the house to the car?
Yeah, this will be out of the house to the car, and we'll put her in the back. And once she's in the back, I'm gonna ring Benji on the burner.
Alright. And so we are going to cut over to Benji and Urian. You are on the road and you are driving fairly fast. You are keeping as tightly as you can to the uh, to the fastest lane. At night, there's still a little bit of traffic, but you manage to not so dangerously weave your way through traffic, getting getting through towards Doc's office.
Benji, once I end up getting out with Emmanuel, I need you to end up taking the van, and I need you to start driving. When you
Okay.
hear you're going to your teachers, you should receive a call fairly shortly from the other two. When you do, arrange the time. When that happens, I will end up. When the other two end up calling you, you will take the van, don't scratch it, and end up driving out to meet them. You will end up taking hold of the child, and you will drive them over to Isabella. You will call Isabella and end up arranging on whatever agreement you have to end up, well, having her or one of her associates remove the memories from the child. At that point, when that happens, you will end up then asking M to accompany you. She can maintain the child to be muddled, and for a good portion of time, she will not remember anything clearly. You will drop her off near her home as close as you can, and do so. When that, when you end up getting in contact, you will have Amber come pick me up. He gestures to a corner, marking the streets and what have you. He's not too far off. That's where she's going to end up picking me up. When she picks me up, I'm going to have a long. If we may have Emmanuel with us. If that's the case, I'm going to pretend as though I've never met her before, and she will be able to, quote unquote, overpower me in order to take Emmanuel. For now, he cannot know that I am a part of your troop. That is the only advantage we have. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Benji, did you expect this to turn out any other way?
I mean, I had ideas, but this isn't exactly what I expected in the least.
This is why I make friends in very odd places. You never know when they'll come in handy. Of course, this is going to cost me greatly as well. I have no doubt, though, you will be willing to compensate me for that when the time arrives. You can see that he's still white-knuckling the steering wheel. His eyes have always been straight ahead. He has to focus on the task at hand at this point.
I won't let you down.
Of course you will, Benji. I'm counting on it, but I'm also counting on the fact you will learn from it.
All right.
With that, he tries to get them to docks.
You manage to make your way to Doc's office, and she is actually there, waiting for you.
Okay. As soon as it does, I end up handing the keys over to Benji, telling him not to be seen. I end up taking out Emmanuel from the van while he's still in this unconscious, partly twitching state, which I'm pretty sure is only deteriorated at this point. And I start to drag him with what strength I do have towards docks, tapping the side of the van, telling Benji to drive off quickly.
And without question, Doc rushes to your aid and helps you get a manual inside the office.
Thank you very much, Doc. This is not something that I would normally trouble you with.
We can talk about it later. Let's get him stable first.
Yes. However, I can insist.
And she leads the both of you inside. Benji, what is it that you do?
Benji, acting fairly casual, gets out of the car and gets back into the driver's side, makes his way out of the hospital, heads towards La Medianoche.
Okay. You...
Really quick, can I check to see if I was seen?
Yeah, make a wits plus awareness.
Boop. Boop.
There it goes. You look around, you make sure that you have you look around and there's nothing to see. The street's pretty empty when you get back to the van and you drive off. You snake your way through the neighborhood and you make your way back out to the highway to make it to La Medianoche.
Once he's there, he parks the vehicle somewhat discreetly down the block. He walks briskly, but not with intensity. Not clear that he's like trying his damnedest to get in. He's trying to stay as casual as he can.
You do get a ring on your phone as soon as you pull up and you walk towards the front entrance of the bar.
He checks the number, doesn't recognize it, but he picks up anyways. Hello? This is Big B?
You're muted. There it is.
There we go. Package is secure.
Alright. Cool. Hey,
Hmm?
with that, really quick, out of character, my memory is balls today.
You were
So have M and Amber bring Nugget to the location?
Mhm.
Okay. Benji relays that information to Amber.
Yep, so it's the where they need to take her, because that's
Mhm.
kind of important.
He explains the plan, more or less, that Urian expressed. And just gives
Okay,
him...
and that is dropping the kid off with Isabella.
Mm-hmm. He gives the address for La Medianoche.
Yep, and then her then going off after that and picking up Urian.
Mm-hmm.
And doing what possibly needs to be done with that. Okay, just making sure that out of character I've got, so that I know what's going on, so that I don't screw this up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But no, Amber will simply say, "Understood. I'm on my way," and she'll hang up the call, turn to M, and it's just like I've got the address. Let's go.
Alrighty.
Benji, you walk into the bar. It is kind of busy. It's a weeknight, but it's fairly busy anyway. And you stroll through. Dave gives you a nod as you walk past him, since his post is at the door. And
Benji pats his shoulder, rather friendly like. Hey, Dave.
what's up? Good night.
Now the... Yeah. So, is Isabella here?
Should be.
Cool. You take care,
She's
Dave.
usually here, so.
Benji goes and has a knock on the office.
You hear that soft voice ring out and usher you inside.
Benji closes the door behind him. Yeah, very, somewhat exhaustedly sits down on the chair. He leans forward, is ruffling his hair.
Are you alright?
Yeah. Isabella, I've been busy.
Busy? Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to establish something by myself, but, well, with Urian's help.
Of course.
He's taken care of me really well, actually.
I'm glad.
But I've made a couple mistakes, if I'm going to be honest.
Okay. Oh, Benji. My sweet, sweet Benji. But I'm here to help you.
Thanks. Can I ask a favor of you?
Of course you can.
Are you or anyone else able to work someone's memories? Erase information or...
Oh, that kind of a mistake. Well, I can cloud a memory. I can. It's not terribly difficult. And Benji, I don't want to ask too many questions because I know that you're trying to establish yourself, but you are my charge. And I kind of need to know why. Is this a masquerade thing?
Not entirely. It's more like... it's more like trying to save sanctity of someone's future. What was going on is I was trying to get some leads on the gang business around here.
You see her not really sigh, but kind of look like she sighs with her eyes a little bit. Not a lot, but just enough for you to catch it.
I made a mistake.
Oh,
I accidentally gave too much information. Urian covered for me, but when he did so, well, I became responsible for this person. And I needed leverage. That leverage happened to be someone close to this guy.
All right.
It's a kid.
Benji.
I know. I didn't know what else to do.
And there's this kid? The one you need erased?
Yes. We're
Shouldn't
gonna
we...
try and give her the best life despite destroying. I'm gonna try and give her the best life despite destroying it.
It's very admirable.
But I really can't do it by myself.
No man is an island. I will do this. I can do that. It's not a problem at all.
What can I do for you?
You see her kind of press her finger to her lips a little bit. She kind of looks around the room a little, giving it a little bit of thought. I'm not quite sure. But if I think of something, I'll let you know. It's gonna be a minor inconvenience to you. I'm not asking for anything big. But I'll call for it when I need it.
See it through to the end. I appreciate you, Isabella.
And I appreciate you, my little star.
Benji does a smirk, albeit rather melancholy.
Something still upsets you, though. And this is... This is something you're gonna have to deal with. We're not good people.
I'm starting to understand that more and more.
We try, obviously. But we're not good people. We do things because we're selfish. I just hope that your selfish reason does a payoff.
I hope so too. Benji purses his lips, grips tightly in his hands, but releases when he remembers he's got to make sure that everything follows up through. He can't be in his head right now.
When should I expect this child?
She's coming tonight. Soon.
Okay. Here?
Yeah. We might have to meet outside the bar. Because, well, Dave.
Yeah, Dave won't, he won't like kids coming in. Stickler for his job, that man. Alright. Then we wait.
I have Urian's car parked outside, about a block away.
Alright. And it's about that moment that Em and Amber, you're driving up towards the bar.
All right. So I will park and take a very quick jaunt inside because they're gonna need to know that you know,
Mm.
the package has arrived and all of that.
You go towards an.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I would like to use Sense the Unseen upon arrival.
All right. And you're wanting to look around using that? Go ahead and make me a wits plus awareness.
Okay. Oop. Accidentally made my screen zoom in. Okay. There we go.
You look around. You take in your surroundings. This is a fairly new place. You've never been here. But you look towards every possible place that you could potentially spot someone. Thankfully, you're not seeing anything. Nothing but a couple of humans sitting outside smoking cigarettes. Couple of people kind of enamored with each other just outside the door.
Cool. She kind of lets out a long breath. And she looks in the mirror and looks to the back seat where the little girl is.
She's got her knees pulled up to her chest. Not really looking at anything.
Kind of turns around and tries to seem as normal as possible. Maybe even does a blush of life.
Okay. If you want to use that, then you can rouse if you like.
Yeah, for sure. She wants to make the girl feel as comfortable as possible.
Nope. Only needed one.
My bad.
You get the vitae in your veins moving to flush your skin, but it does make you a little hungrier. That little pain in the bottom of your stomach just gets louder. Feed me.
We'll get to that as soon as we're done. I promise.
Why do we have to wait?
Because there's risk if we're out and about.
Oh, but I want it.
And you'll get it.
Fine.
She pushes past her hungered thoughts and smiles sweetly at the little girl. I promise we're gonna get you home soon.
Okay. I don't know what you want.
I personally just want to get you home, okay?
Okay.
And she offers her hand out for the little girl to hold.
She kind of looks at you for a moment, kind of brings her eyes towards you, but she just shakes her head a little bit and hugs her knees closer to her chest. Sorry, I don't want.
That's okay. No worries. It's totally understandable. And she turns back around and... Did Urian tell her to wipe the girl's mind? Like, for the game?
Yep.
Alright. I'm gonna look around, make sure no one's looking. And I'm gonna get on that.
All
When
right.
no one else is in the car.
All right. So you call forth the gift that has been granted to you by your sire, and you look this girl in the eye and you whisper the word forget. And she goes a little dazed, almost like she's about to fall asleep, but just kind of lingers there.
I does that only cloud her memory short term, or
Short term.
Short term.
Or,
so it would have been at least enough for her to forget kind of
Kind of this
current
immediate
events going down?
conversation.
yeah.
Okay. Cool beans.
Amber, you walk towards the front door, and a man with a big bushy beard stops you at the entrance. Uh, you need some ID.
It's like, of course. And she'll show him the ID.
Now, is this a faked ID or is this a real one?
Honestly, it's actually probably a fake ID.
Mm, I'm trying to figure out what stat to call. I immediately want to say manipulation plus subterfuge.
Manipulation plus subterfuge, I can do.
He looks
Oh,
at. Ooh. You look over. He looks over the ID, and as far as he can tell, this is an immaculate state Texas ID card, driver's license to be specific. You on the age on your ID says that you are 24, and that you currently live in the city. But according to him, it's immaculate. And so he waves you on past.
yep.
But
And
his eyes kind of
she's
linger on
gonna,
you a little.
as they should, just a little,
Just a little.
just a little. So yeah, I'm gonna head inside.
Benji, that's when you see that Amber walks into the main hall of the bar. Just as you're coming out of Isabella's office.
Benji puts his hand up in a half wave at Amber and walks towards her.
And Amber will see him coming and nod to him.
He stops for a moment. Amber, this is Isabella Castile.
Pleasure to meet you.
And a pleasure to meet you as well. And instead of Amber, Amber does her little courteous bow.
And I'm sorry, Amber
Dupree.
Dupree. How interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, shall we be off then?
We shall.
And so the three of you exit the bar. The patrons seem to give Isabella a bit of a wave, and Benji a little bit of a wave. Some of them with a little bit of a sneer.
He tries to ignore them.
They're hard to ignore, Benji. But you walk out of the building. Dave seems a little surprised that you're already leaving Amber, but he notices that you're walking with Isabella and Benji and thinks nothing else of it. Goes back to his business, doing his job. And you all walk toward the van.
Okay.
Although if we're going to get the kiddo, I'd be walking towards the skyline rather than the van.
The Skyline. That's right. That's what your car is. I
It's
forget.
it's 4-wheel drive too, so we can get out to the coterie house no problem.
Ooh. But yeah, you pull the three of you to the van, and or the Skyline, and she's in the girl's in the back, and Isabella kind of looks her over, sees that she looks a little sleepy. She does see that a little bit, but kind of just looks her in the eyes. And I'm going to look something up here really quick. Give me 2 seconds. She starts to whisper a couple of things, talking to the girl. And after a moment, pulls away and looks to Benji. All right. Where are you headed off to next?
Gotta drop this one off.
All
And
right.
then after that, taking care of the rest of my business.
Fair enough.
Isabella,
Mm-hmm.
thank you. Truly.
Of course. It was a pleasure to meet you, Miss Dupree.
And a pleasure to meet you as well. She it's
Dupree.
Miss Castile, right?
Yes. That seems slightly familiar.
A little bit.
I must be misthinking things. Anyway, have a wonderful night, the both of you.
And to you as well. With a sweet smile.
And Isabella gives you a sweet smile in return, and goes back towards the bar.
Benji turns to Amber. Alright. So I guess next is take the nugget home.
Yeah, were you doing that?
Out of character, I forgot.
I believe the plan was is that you were gonna take her home in the van, and
With him.
Amber was
With them.
with them, and Amber was gonna go pick up Urian.
Alright.
All right. So Em and Benji head off towards dropping Julie off at home. Em, I assume that Benji has given you the instruction that you just keep her mind a little muddled the whole way.
I believe so, and she'll be active on that.
Okay. Amber, you drive towards the location in which Benji gave you instructions on where to pick up Urian. And you head in that direction. Urian,
Yes.
Doc has been working fairly tirelessly. She has been hooking up IVs, making sure that she's monitoring his vitals, making sure that he stays stable. She gets a little concerned because she notices that he is suffering from a lack of blood.
The dreaded anemia. Perhaps he works too hard.
Perhaps. Um, she kind of goes over to the computer to try and see if she can pull some record off of his ID, see if she could find his medical history.
They already took his ID and all that off of him earlier.
Ah. It's hard. My hands are tied. Just medical history would be nice. Oh, but
Do what you can, Doc. I do
What?
not know this individual. So, but I hear a rumor. He is apparently a member of a particular gang of drug dealers. Hence why I called you.
right, makes sense. And she continues. She continues to work a little bit. You
I
just
think they
found
called him Emmanuel.
Emmanuel. And she asks,
Not one of yours.
"No, he's. I don't know who he is, but he's. I've I've met most of my guys, and
I have no doubt.
even the newbies. I've met the newbies. I don't know. Where did you find him?
I ended up finding him, and I list play. What was it? Oh God, there was a place mentioned. It was near Jameson's territory.
Near South Park Mall. Yep.
Yeah, South Park. If I recall, it was South Park Mall. I don't head out there too frequently. Um, I had some business to run into, and everybody else was just watching him twitching. I think some people were sitting there with cell phones recording it.
Some people. But South Park is kind of far. You're lucky you got here in time.
You understand why I needed to end up here being sure you were here when I called.
Yeah, right. Well, he might. I don't want to keep him too long, but
If you can stabilize him at the very least, then I can end up moving him along. I know you do not want him here longer than he has to be. Yours is a clinic for bullets, not for whatever this is.
yeah, there's no wounds. It's just it's like he's like you said, anemia. But really, a lot. I don't understand, but I'm gonna go see if there's medical history, which will be so good because then I can look up his blood type and I can just give him some and it's fine.
Urian waits for the doc to draw, and he Takes a quick moment to grab hold of the individual's finger, kind of pops a fang and draws just a droplet, licks it clean, quick. Trying to end up going off of taste and his own abilities.
You know that this particular residence is riddled with adrenaline. You kind of lick it around your mouth, trying to pick up something, anything. Does taste for blood allow you to pick up blood type?
There's a few different things that I think it might be a medical check by NIF or awareness, your choice. Double checking. Because I know it offers a whole bunch of stupid amounts of information, so
Yeah.
blood type might just be one of those things that,
That maybe
might
it's
be
an
just
ST
might be a
call.
narrative thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's one of those. It just falls in line with everything else. Taste for blood. It doesn't cost me anything. Resolve
Right.
plus blood potency. Dabs blood on their tongue and makes resolve. Difficulty 3 with wind. User can determine resonance intensity if the blood's human. They can also identify whether the blood belongs to a mortal ghoul, etc., etc. Also determines relative blood potency. Critical win reveals the subject's ever committed diablerie and generation. So,
Okay. Go ahead and roll me your blood sorcery roll.
and because of blood resonance,
Very nice. Yeah. Yeah, you've tasted enough blood in your time. You know, you've done a lot of dabbling around. You had particular tastes at one point. He's typo. Fairly common. So,
doctor,
mm,
doctor,
yes.
um, I need you to not ask, but I believe typo might be appropriate.
No questions. That's gonna cost you.
I will be sure to send you a bed of roses.
Right. So, she makes sure that everything's steady for a moment and dismisses herself to go and see about setting up a transfusion. Is there anything else you wanted to do in this moment?
I am trying to keep myself distracted.
That taste was so good. As empty as your belly is, it tasted so good.
Thankfully, I end up having enough will to end up maintaining this for now because I'm about to get a huge payday out of this. He grabs hold of a random medical textbook and starts reading, just letting the doc get to their work.
After a few moments, she's coming back, having prepped everything. She gets it all set up and begins to let the machine do its work. Okay, so we just wait for a few minutes.
That's good. That's good. He seems a little bit more relieved, if not trying to keep his concentration.
I never took you for much of a medicine man.
It is a requirement that I end up dabbling in several talents. Though I would like to improve my knowledge of the body. After all, what is it? The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit could just as easily translate into mind, body, and soul.
Sure, that's a way to look at it.
Who's to say that they are separate things?
Certainly doesn't seem to with your congregation.
Well, more of a pragmatist, really. He looks to Doc, smiles a bit. I will be grateful when this is all over.
You asked me not to beg questions, but I'm a curious individual, so. But your business is your business.
Is the man unconscious?
Seems to be, so far. He might not even regain consciousness for a while. He's the lack of blood was. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of brain damage.
I would not be surprised. Huh? Okay. I was not aware that was a possibility.
Oxygen deprivation.
Well, that's a pity. Nevertheless, you said you were curious, and yet you've honored your word.
And I will continue to honor my word. Until you tell me otherwise.
What do I owe you?
Well, it's gonna take a little bit to restock supply. Financially, $2,000.
Very well. I will see if I can end up getting that to you in very short order. Obviously, I don't carry that kind of cash around me in the neighborhoods I frequent.
No, you're kind of in a risky business neighborhood.
Would you have it any other way?
No, it keeps my life exciting.
I am, however, a little curious as a thought experiment, Doc.
Thought experiments are fun.
What would you do if you had every night from here until the very last? Well, how would you define a good eternity in human terms? Bit of a mind bend, isn't it?
You're not wrong. Have you thought about being immortal? Is that what? Is that what we're are we playing? What if you were immortal games?
No, I'm playing what if we were God.
God, that's a bold
What would,
statement.
what would you do with an eternity and make it a good one in human terms if you were to look at it as such?
Oh man, what would I do?
These are the things I've been meditating upon recently.
Like the afterlife? No, and you said in human terms. It boggles the mind. I've never given it thought.
I don't think many do. I don't think many would have to.
I mean, I would like to continue my practice.
Is it what makes you happy?
I mean, I get exciting tales. That's always fun.
Maybe in time, when the degree of quiet I must maintain right now, we may exchange a few. Who knows, maybe you can tell me where Hafa is.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Oh, I would. He owes me money.
You are a strange one, Urian Doyle.
And Doc, you are always a delight.
Oh,
Please
you flatter
continue
me.
your work. I will get tea. Do you think you will be at least capable of moving soon enough to get him out of your hair?
Soon enough.
Plenty of bed rest. Sugar cookies, I believe.
You know, I work so quick on my feet and get people in and out. I'm not entirely sure I have the proper bedside manner.
That is what I like about you. Very well. I will prepare your after work tea as you preferred it. And Urian goes to prepare tea and gets ready to take Emmanuel out to where he's supposed to meet Amber.
All right. You wait for another few minutes. Amber, you're waiting at the location for Urian. You, after a little while, Doc does finish up with Emmanuel and does declare him movable. And so, Urian, you take the arrangements that you've made to get him to where Amber is supposed to pick you up. How does the scene proceed from here?
Urian is trying to end up. If the man is even conscious enough to register Urian's face, he does not know. I imagine the man is bit completely out of his gourd right now, needing to be guided.
Yep. You get the suspicion that there might have been something a little strong put in his drip.
Well, that's fantastic. He play. He puts him in the driver's side or the passenger's side to Ember, and he sits behind this Emmanuel. Once he's in the car, he rests his head back as though he is absolutely exhausted, spent. My apologies for keeping you waiting, Amber.
It is no problem, Mr. Let's get. And,
He is stable enough to continue. He will require bed rest and proper care. I leave that to you, as I understand it. You are the one who chose him. Now you are responsible for him.
I only grabbed him in so far as he had the information Benji was looking for. Nothing more. In fact, I had every intention on letting him go. But, ding.
I'd like to incite that.
Go for it. And Amber, make a charisma plus either subterfuge or persuasion, depending on if you're lying or telling the truth.
Um. Well, she's not. She's not particularly lying. She did want to let him.
Want but was allowing was two different things.
Well, she wanted to let him go. What happened? What happens after the fact? After she undoes his change? Well, that's not in her control. But she did have a want to let him.
Then that's a persuasion.
That's a charisma plus persuasion. No modifiers because she is not using awe and yeah.
Very well.
A little hard to read in this moment.
Madame Dupree. At this point, the individual is alive. But whether he's experienced brain damage or not is entirely, well, it's up to you. I have spared his existence. Now, That being said, this is a direct result of you letting him go. And I believe at this point you wish to even settle things between us, yes?
I was going to have a conversation with you, but sure, let's for now at the very least, let's go with that.
Very well. At this point, what I am requiring of you is simple. In fact, it should be hardly a challenge for you. Handle this portion of the mess, and I require 3 grand.
3 grand. I did promise you the use of my resources, and 3 grand isn't a lot, so I can deal with that. I can help you with this.
Fantastic. I will be sure to end up making sure that it is paid to the appropriate people. These things don't come cheap, and it is not favors I like calling in, especially for mild inconveniences as such. You understand?
Yes, of course. I mean, if I am to be honest with you, Mr. Doyle, I actually thought that Benji was just going to let Carlos completely eat him. But
Would you be so
cruel. Well, I mean, if we're going by how we found him and the fact that he may now have brain damage, it sounds to me a little bit more a mercy than a cruelty.
careful the path you tread?
It's not a kind one. I know. It's not. It's not like I like thinking, but unfortunately, the luxury of thinking of things in such nice terms is a luxury right now.
I am hesitant to agree with you, Lady Dupree. And yet, I understand the sentiment. First and foremost, you have followed instruction to the letter, I'm sure. When I have confirmation on the others, we will decide if you are worth keeping around. You may feel an express need to escape the cage to which you. But unfortunately, some of us have our own bars to deal.
Of course.
And it's at that moment that the four of you, M and Benji, having delivered the child to their home, Urian and Amber, you're delivering Emmanuel back to his home.
However, Amber chooses to do it. It is her risk to take.
Actually, delivering him home, that's probably not the best idea. If he's got brain damage, if he has brain damage, he can't be left on his.
I said potentially.
Well, potentially, but the thing is that we don't know. So we are going to. I'll take him the coterie house us and tie him up for observation. Once we have a better confirmation on what his state is, we will then figure out whether he can be taken or whether we need to deal with this in a different manner.
I think we should fade out on a question. Amber, have you ever
Yes.
considered ghouling?
Yeah, no, I think we should fade out on that question. I think there should be a question that is answered.
Then that is where tonight's session will come to a close, with both parties moving towards the Codering House. Em and Benji having delivered their little nugget, and Amber and Urian bringing Emmanuel back to the sanctuary home, where the four of you later will convene and discuss. Thank you all for playing tonight.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes.
Merci.
Yee.
Urian has plan. Urian always has plan.
Urian has plans. Urian has plans. Always with the plans.
I hope
Truly.
they're too disappointing.
That was-
How did we
Thank
enjoy the
you.
game?
You saved my ass.
Did you have fun?
I let you guys run with it until you're like, okay, we gotta go talk to Dad now.
Well, I mean, yeah, Benji and it's just, quite frankly, he should have just died and done with it. But you want to keep him alive.
I can't do it. It stains. It's too scary.
Yeah, no. Amber would have felt bad about it, but she would have
You
not
were in
had.
on it too. You would have taken Stain's.
Yeah,
Yep. Everyone involved would have had a stain.
I mean, I would have taken a single stain. Maybe.
I'm pretty sure we have a few stains still to end up giving at this point.
Truth.
Yes.
This has been messy.
This has been messy. You all are messy individuals.
Oh, quite.
Well, congratulations. You've brain damaged potentially a person.
I didn't do it. I slaked one hunger from the guy. He was
No,
fine.
you definitely did. You knew full well the second you looked at Benji, you made that decision. I'm gonna
I
call
thought
you.
I thought he was going to die. Quite frankly, Amber thought that
Yeah,
Benji
So
was
you
just
were
going
you
to
were
feed him to
purposely
come.
going to throw him to his death. That doesn't help your case in this.
I think
Yeah, I mean that she was prepared to throw Emmanuel straight under the bus.
Do you have a conviction that would keep you from gaining a stain?
Well, at this point, her her main where where is that? That's under here. She, I suppose, was acting in accordance to get in the good books of the coterie, and I would imagine that might with her conviction of taking her dreams by force. If
I think that's a little bit of a
if it's a
stretch.
it is a little bit of a
It's just Benji and her situation and involvement. I was like, oh.
Yeah, if
Anyways.
you don't have a conviction that would keep
it'd be
you keep this as a justified act. No, I think Amber, you're gonna take a stain.
that's
Now
fine. I should take his thing.
there's also Benji.
Mm-hmm.
I
Who has-
definitely harmed the innocent here. I'll take it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Benji's been pretty fucked up over it, so.
Yeah.
Um. Is there
Well, I
any
mean, that
accusations we can make to M?
I think
I think
she was
M is
pretty
the
Em's
only
a
one.
compliant.
perfect angel.
Em was pretty compliant in what was going on here. She
Yeah.
didn't she didn't put up a fuss. She didn't do anything that
Question.
yes.
Yeah.
When establishing a stain on humanity, is it one cross or empty?
One cross
It's
at the
one
very end.
slash at the far right.
Okay.
So you
I
know
got
how you have potentially 7 humanity boxes checked from left to right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you just check your stains from right to left,
Be right
whatever
here.
boxes you have empty
Oh.
is how many dice you roll for your remorse.
okay.
Yep.
Because that's what I'm actually looking at right now. How do I?
So that's how you would arrange it there, Benji.
All right.
Okay.
So we.
Ironically, I think Urian's the only one without stains. He wasn't downstairs when this was all happening. He didn't know anything about the plan. He said that they were going to handle it, and
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden they came up and said, "Can you fix this? We broke
M,
the toys."
you were pretty compliant. I would like you to take a stain unless you think your convictions keep you from doing so.
Okay.
So, like, I would get a stain.
Yep.
That's true. I'm trying to think of anything. I'm looking at the convictions and stuff real quick. No. Alrighty.
Then you will
I'll
take a
put
stain.
that in. Dang.
That is on the core page of your character sheet.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yep. The box on the far right, you put a slash through.
Yep. So would that mean those with stains then roll remorse?
Yep, you'll hit the remorse button. It will give you a question as to the number of remorse dice.
I believe I roll 2.
Yep, you'll put that number in there.
Oh
This-
no!
All of this was completely justified, Amber. This was something that was necessary. Absolutely
Yes.
necessary. Please reduce your humanity by 1.
Alright. And I remove the stain. Oh boy! Yeah, alright, I've lost my first humanity.
Go ahead and roll your remorse, M.
Alrighty, one sec. And I'm doing that out of 1?
You have 2 remorse dice.
Good.
How do you judge it?
M, this was a horrible. This was the worst thing that could possibly happen. There was no need for Emmanuel to get hurt. There was no need for Emmanuel to be fed upon so deeply. There was no need for any of this.
Or even to have the child dragged into that whole situation.
Yeah, that happened beforehand. It's just that was just a bit of an oof.
Benji?
How many dice, Captain?
2. Because you're at humanity 7, yes?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same. This is the worst outcome that possibly could have happened.
Well, good. That's how he feels.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, but I'm going to argue that it's not the worst outcome. Urian was preparing for the worst outcome.
Yeah.
That's what the hole in the backyard.
That's what the
is.
hole's for. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what the hole's for.
It's terrible. You shouldn't have let Carlos feed on him that long. You knew it was too long. You saw Amber feed on him before. It was too long.
Me as a player forgot that. Hi, it's Forgetful Day.
I feel
Don't
you
worry,
on
a small
spiritual level.
bit of forgetfulness only almost cost a man his life and potentially brain damaged him. So
Okay.
It'd be like that.
Then now stains are removed from all characters. Now that we have satisfied that. And now, it's experience time. Everybody gets one for showing up.
Yeah.
Thank you all for doing so. You all are wonderful.
Cool.
Diadems, thank you so much for the 100 bits.
Ooh.
Ooh, bits.
So, we have the 3 criteria: who moved the plot the furthest, who had the best scene, and who had a memorable one-liner. So, plot movers, please speak up.
Yes, plot moving.
I'm gonna say Urian.
Yeah.
The man with the plan.
The man
Yes,
with the
Mhm.
plan.
the man with the plan moved the plot the furthest, most definitely.
The very, very hungry man with the plan.
Oh, don't worry, I'm about to end up taking it out on all their hides.
Re.
Re.
We're about to get a pool going.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Oh boy.
So, who had the best scene?
I gotta give it to Benji. And throwing it Carlos into or throwing Manuel to Carlos like, here you go, here you can have cheeseburger now.
Yeah. Yeah. Here you go,
Oh my
Carlos.
God.
Meat.
Nom nom.
Nom nom nom.
I do want to argue Amber and M, their bonding moment in the car.
That was good.
That's a 3-way tie.
No one swaying their votes. No one. What? M and Amber. What do you say about this whole thing? We're kind of going on
I mean,
votes here.
the bonding moment was cute, but I do want to give it to Benji because it's just like here, Carlos, meat, and Benji just shoving Emmanuel like a blood bag
Like a
straight
taco.
at Carlos.
Yep.
Yeah, a bloody
Yeah.
taco.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it to Benji.
All right.
No innuendo on that statement, right?
A Lamau.
I promise nothing.
God.
We're
Degenerates. Hi, y'all.
You're all filthy.
Oh yes.
Memorable
disgusting.
one-liner.
Oh, one-liner.
Mm-hmm.
That's a difficult one.
Or a short
Couple of,
sentence. Whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm just.
And now you want me to clean up your mess.
Yeah.
That's
There
a
are so
contender.
many. There were so many this session that I'm actually having a hard time trying to figure out how I could just pick one. Because
Throw
there's
some out. Throw some out.
Oh, so there was Yuri. It's like it's like now you want me to clean up your mess.
You had one fucking job.
yeah.
The intro.
During the recap, Amber being like, Amber fucking Dupree, you had one job. You had one job, and you fucked it up.
Talking to herself in the mirror. Goddamn.
Yeah. As a melancholic, overdramatic Toreador ought want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a line from M too. She got really excited about something that was just utterly twisted, and
I like making friends.
yeah, I like making friends. Sorry.
M, you sweet, sweet twisted bean.
She's so good.
Yeah. So those are. If I had to pick any of them, those would be like if I had to pick one of them, it would be one of those three choices.
Mm.
Urian being like, really, you're making me have to act for you again. Amber basically mentally screaming at herself in the mirror, and Am being like, I like friends.
I want to give it to one of the girls.
One of the girls.
One of the girls.
One of the girls.
Gorals.
So are we gonna go two-way tie on the girls then?
I liked it when, like, I hate to vote for myself, but I really liked it when she said, "Oh, that's gonna be a riot," like talking about the basement.
Oh yeah, talking about the basement.
I was like, "Oh gosh, Em, calm down there."
All right.
I'll give it to him on that one. I'll give
Yeah.
it to him on that one.
Oh,
Okay. Is this
I
unanimous then?
appreciate-
Yeah,
Everybody agrees, Em?
yeah.
I would agree on Am.
Hey, there you go. Em gets a
Thanks.
point.
When your fledgling loses their first humanity.
Yeah.
Harry Potter is dead.
Hey, in the mouth. All right. So that's experience. Anyone want to spend any?
I am thinking about it.
Okay.
No, I think that hasn't been earned yet, so I'll wait to earn the XP for that until a little later.
Okay.
But what I'm thinking is that I may spend the 5 XP I've got banked on one dot drive.
It's 3 XP actually.
Oh, is it 3?
It's
Yep.
3 per. It's 3 times the new level. Yep.
Oh, 3 times the new level.
Yep.
Well, in that case, yeah, I'm thinking I might go one dot drive.
All right.
Amber has been doing quite a bit of driving recently. Quite a bit of driving in at speed as well.
In high
considering-
stress situations, that's exactly what the drive technique is. The drive skill is for. So
I'll grab the one dot drive.
there you go.
And I will fix up XP to spend is only 2. So I will do this. There we
Alright.
go.
Benji, M, Urian.
I'm trying to think about it, but
Right.
If you guys want to come back to it, we could always talk about that in the off week.
I dumped all my experience to be able to end up getting my last dot or third dot in blood sorcery. So
Ooh.
I'm gonna need at least one session to get 3 dots to be able to start my backgrounds. But I want to start investing a bit more into the cult.
So you have you're taking a new ritual.
No, I don't have enough. I only have 2 experience. Remember,
Ooh.
I had that huge dump to get the third dot of blood sorcery.
That's true. You only have 2 now. Okay, that's what you were saying. I get it now.
Yep.
this team.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Checking in on blood bonding.
Mm-hmm.
When Benji smeared his hand blood all over Emmanuel, like dubbed him at Carlos, does that actually count for blood bonding or nah?
It's a little bit tricky. Give me a high or low.
I'll take low.
So what's the question?
Well, I know that blood bonding has to be directly from a vein, but I'm wondering if it would be long enough, or having been a short enough time that it wouldn't have spoiled by the time it got to Carlos. That's what I'm high or lowing. You said low?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Low
Oh.
is you have a blood bond on him.
Also,
You have a blood bond on him on 1 dot.
okay.
What up? He's at 2.
Which also reminds me.
Go ahead and put that down as a background merit on your sheet, and I'm going to put that as a flaw on his sheet.
Can I do that? Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. Which also reminds me, it has been the appropriate length of time that I no longer have a blood bond on Fisk, right?
Let me look at your character sheet here in a minute. And I will
How would I
be
put it
able to.
as a? Oh, sorry.
I will be able to determine that. Let's see. I believe it has been 2 in-character weeks. I will have to double check. Well, actually, I would have to listen back to the VODs for that, so I'm just gonna rule it yes.
Okay.
I don't have time to listen back to my own VODs.
Rip.
Rip.
How would I put it as a background merit?
Let's see. You go to your the backgrounds and you see that add button,
Yes.
and you have unless you have a space already, you hit the add button and add a 2-dot merit blood bond Carlos Vives.
Okay. Gotcha. You're gonna hear me typing.
Do it.
Looking. How do I spell Vives?
Vives. And also add 1 dot to Emmanuel as well. Because you've 2 more times and you'll have ghouled him.
God.
You're creating husks.
I am. It's horrible.
Welcome to the downfall. I really should make
Do I
you take
use
another stand for that, but no. Well, that's actually when it's finished. Never mind.
Do I establish those as like on experience?
No, those are because you did those in character.
Okay.
I'm not going to make you spend an experience for that.
Rad.
Because those are not experience, really. Well, once you have ghouled Emmanuel, then I would ask that you do take experience and spend it on him, just so that you have it listed as a retainer, and have spent the appropriate amount of time in experience, as it were.
Cool.
Cool.
All right.
In the famed words of Hannibal, I love it when a plan comes together.
The downward spiral.
Well.
And I am loving every second of it.
He's so adorable when he tries to be threatening.
Hey, I'm threatening!
So cute!
You shut your goddamn mouth!
It's like a squirrel trying to mug you for your money.
You shit.
Oh, no. You don't mess with squirrels. Squirrels are dangerous.
I'll fuck you up, bitch. But yes, that is the end of tonight's session. I hope you all had a wonderful time playing, as well as the viewers a wonderful time watching this horrible clusterfuck that happened today.
Oh boy!
What you talking about? I have no idea.
That Urian had to go and clean up for them. Thank you, Urian,
what?
for being a wonderful coterie father.
Hey, I didn't make this mess.
I know.
No, but you allowed some of it to happen, therefore you are
I
there.
I did allow some of it to happen, yes, but I will maintain mine innocence.
Despite your lack of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Despite me losing some humanity, I will maintain mine innocence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as someone with feigned innocence as a subterfuge specialty ought what to do.
Okay. So that's Benji's arc. Who's next?
We'll find out next time on San Antonio by Night. Say goodnight, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.